Okay, great. Good afternoon, and we are getting started. You're welcome on board. I hope all of you are having a very lovely Tuesday. This is the orientation session for this training program. Please stay muted, except if you have any issues, kindly include that in the chat box. Yeah, good. Like I said,
What about
you're welcome.
the time? The time. You guys should keep time. The finishing time should be the exact time because other people have other things to do.
Oh, the calendar invite states the time. Each session is scheduled for 2 hours, so we have always been people who keep time. So never mind about time management and issues like that. We have taken care of that. Like I said, you guys are welcome on board. You need to stay muted. Make sure your microphone is off. If you keep turning your microphone on and off, I will have to kick you out of the meeting. And yeah, so I hope that all of you are seeing the screen. This is the induction session. We will again take you through uh, the organizations that are running this virtual training program, the training program itself, the objectives, what is expected of you, and what you would expect of us. And if you have any other questions, then you can later on ask. So yeah, so like I said, one, we need to maintain the rules of the house. Stay muted. If you have very burning issues, you include that in the chat box and do not interrupt a particular speaker at a time by unmuting and then starting to talk. Just put any concerns you have in the chat box during a particular session. And make sure that you always respect the opinion of others, especially as they talk or as they jot them down in the chat box. So let us get started with a round of introduction. Uh, the rest of you can introduce yourself in the chat box. You can tell us your name, where you work, and your job title, if you don't mind. My name is Emmanuel Vida Thomas. Like I said earlier, I am the coordinator for 211 Check at DeFi Head now. So we mainly work around fact checking and information verification, which mainly focuses on media monitoring, online research, and this media literacy training that we carry out quarterly. So, what is DeFi Head now? DeFi Head now was initiated as a project. It wasn't an organization in early 2014 by an organization called Rock Agency for Open Culture and Critical Transformation, based in Berlin, Germany, and was supported from 2015 through 2018 with means of the German Federal Foreign Office via their program for civic conflict resolution as a comprehensive program mobilizing civic action against hate speech and directed social media incitement to violence in South Sudan. And after 2016, it was expanded to countries including Kenya, Uganda, and Sudan. So, besides social media literacy trainings and community level facilitation of hate speech and conflict mitigation activities, the project produced a comprehensive social media hate speech mitigation field guide, which can be downloaded here. And in 2019, the DeFi Head, a national non-governmental organization, has been legally registered in South Sudan with further crisis intervention initiatives that have been introduced in Cameroon as well as in Ethiopia. So when we look at the the vision, so along what if I had now see it's doing is building lasting peace between communities, and it does this through the mission of promoting digital rights and creating a framework for increasing trust between the stakeholders and communities in South Sudan through mobilizing civic action against all forms of hate speech, misinformation, human rights violation, and incitement to violence. So the Firehead now seeks to support the voices and actions of citizens working against online-induced conflict within and outside affected regions by bringing youth, community leaders, grassroots organizations, and also further civil society stakeholders into a peace-oriented media and information literacy framework. So by doing this, we hope to bridge gaps of knowledge and awareness of social media mechanisms between those who have access to technology and also those who do not have access to technology. So that is why DeFi now has become a growing network of online and offline peace builders who are mainly volunteers. So what does DeFi now as an organization believe in? DeFi now believes in human dignity, believes in boldness, believes in innovation, believes in seeing itself as a global organization working around global aspect, and also DeFi now believes in inclusivity. So our core competencies or thematic areas and areas of focus include digital and human rights, where we work on projects around digital rights awareness and also digital rights policy advocacy. We also do on peace building by initiating peace activities such as the peace jam, such as the Act for Peace campaigns, and also hate speech mitigation through campaigns like the Hate Free campaign, and also uh, advocacy against hate speech, and also fact checking, which is the main work of 211 Check, and also digital media training for government, civil society, and digital rights. So, since its registration as an organization in South Sudan, DeFi Head now has been able to create an open space for youth to engage in peace building, activism in the arts, promote political collaboration and organization. So as we talk now, DeFi Head now has Seniors Hub, which is more like a co-working space for freelancers to be working from with good power and with also free internet for someone who like to use. And also Fahid now has trained over 500 journalists in hate speech mitigation, fact checking, and counter misinformation. Um, Fahid now has also developed fast fact checking platform in South Sudan, which is 21 Check, with a community of over 300 active members, which are engaging in a virtual WhatsApp group. We have also developed a field guide on hate speech mitigation in South Sudan, which has become a useful resource for grassroots peace builders. We also have what we call a document repository, which is used for storing files that people can use for research purposes. We have developed key strategic partnerships with leading social media platforms like Facebook, thereby providing a link for civil society, government, and private sector in South Sudan in terms of content moderation and tackling human rights violations online. So, so that is about DeFi Head now as an organization. I've been able to touch base on very key things, and I hope that that has been very helpful for most of you. Now I will be talking about 211 Check itself. 211 Check is a fact-checking and information verification platform that works on countering misinformation and disinformation in South Sudan. And of course, it is run by its mother organization, which is DeFi now. So you should know that 211 Check is not an independent organization. It is a project or a flagship platform of DeFi now. And already I said DeFi now works on creating frameworks for enhancing trust between stakeholders through mobilizing civic action against all forms of hate speech, misinformation, human rights violations, and incitement to violence. So we are a team of researchers, designers, data analysts, and program managers who have a wide range of experience, and we work with teams in Ethiopia, in Sudan, in South Sudan, in Cameroon, as well as team members in Kenya. So you would again be asking yourself a lot of questions like more about 2-1-1 check. So you should know that the objectives of 2-1-1 check are mainly four key objectives. And one objective of 2-1-1 check is to provide a platform for South Sudanese fact checkers to publish articles and reports on various thematic issues that are related to information verification within South Sudan. Also, another objective is to further public discourse and counter false information through fact checking and verification. And another objective of Channel Check is to offer external support and training on fact checking to South Sudanese journalists, bloggers, and content creators. And lastly, to enhance quality and health of fact-based information shared online in South Sudan. So, uh, another thing is our partners. You may be asking who are those people who have been supporting the work of 2-1 Check over time. So you will realize that 2-1 Check has a couple of partners. One key partner for DeFi now is the Rock Agency for Open Culture and Political Transformation, which runs this main project. Um, DeFi now has also been supported by the European Union, I think, in early 2021. And we have also worked with Internews, we have worked with Article 19, we have worked with Midan, we have worked with Facebook, which is now Meta, we have worked with UNDP, we have worked with Code for Africa, we have recently worked with the collaboration with International ICT Policy in Southern Africa. So these are people who have been key players in supporting the work of DeFi now in advancing digital rights, in countering hate speech, and also in its peace building efforts. So 2-1 Check has membership in continental federations like the Africa Facts Network. We are also a member of the Africa Fact-Checking Alliance, and most recently, our request is pending review at the International Fact-Checking Network, FCN. So, uh, so for those of you who are wondering how they can, of course, reach out to us, you can you can find our office location at High Malakal, Nimule Street, just behind Pyramid Continental Hotel or opposite James Hotel. And this is our WhatsApp number. We are ready to provide this WhatsApp number. And of course, our website is 201check.org. If you want to send us an email, you can do info@201check.org or southsudan.now.org. This is our, if you want to find us on Facebook, just type 211check. On Twitter is @211check, and on Instagram is @211check. On YouTube is 211check itself. Yeah. So these are our contact information, and you should be able to reach out to us. So now, if you have any questions about the organization or about 211 Check, you can leave that in the chat box, or you can raise your hand if you have any question about 211 Check, or if I had now as an organization, you can raise your hand up, or you can put your question in the chat box, and then I will be taking you through the training in the next explanation. So if you have any questions, please do ask. You can raise your hand, or you can type your question in the chat box. Yeah, if there's a feature for raising your hand on Zoom. questions, you can raise your hand or you can leave your question in the chat box. I see a hand from Shadow. Yes, Shadow, you're welcome. You can ask your question.
Thank you very much. Uh, Thank you for taking us through the background of the organization, 211 check, and if I head now. However, I've noticed something in the objective actually of 211 check. The first objective provide a platform for South Sudanese fact checkers to publish articles, reports on various thematic issues within South Sudan. Does it mean something outside Sudan you guys will not be concerned of, and it's touching South Sudan, or what?
Yeah, so our major focus is issues around South Sudan. So South Sudan is our major focus. Yes, I see a hand from Nyalam Tut. Yes, Nyalam Tut, you can ask your
Mine
question.
is not a question. I just there's too much noise in the background. You told us people to mute, but you can't see the people speaking clearly.
You hear noise from my background?
Yeah, I think it's your background. I'm not sure. There's someone listening to music.
Oh, okay. Any other question or comments? Yes, Lobur, you have a question?
2 on 1 sec. Did you employ a lot of people to find out some time to collect a granted news or great information to your site?
Um, 211 Check is not a news organization, so we definitely do not do news.
Okay.
Yes, Chandika John. Chandika John.
Oh, yes. Thank you so much. I appreciate what 211 Check is doing. Mine is looking at Objective 3 that looks at offering editorial support to content creators, including journalists, of course. Now the question is, how do you do that? Is there a platform where these content creators deliver their content for editorial support, or how do you do it? And then secondly, don't some of these content creators actually look at that as an issue of censorship in terms of expressing maybe how they want to put in their opinions out there? And then thirdly is, do you do this continuously as part of the work that you do, or there are times where you offer a capacity development so that these content creators are actually able to produce content that is good enough without having to submit it to you every time? Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for your questions. So what we do is we offer journalists or the media organizations they work for. So what we do is we kind of offer each other support. One in terms of training, in terms of seeing how these journalists can incorporate fact checking and information verification to their work. And we do this by engaging journalists themselves and also by engaging their editors or by engaging even the media managers themselves in seeing that how can they move into a peace-oriented media, or how can they incorporate fact-checking information verification to their work. So we do not necessarily want to see their work in terms of what they publish. Like they don't have to send that to us that we see and then we approve. No, that's not how we work. We just discuss with them and then give them best practices on how to work around head speech, on how to work around uh, the, the, the misinformation and disinformation. How can they write good fact checks? How can they uh, do things like reverse image searches? How can they do sort of verify certain sort of information using publicly available evidence and good formats for writing fact checks? So we do not do more like editing for them or stuff like that. So this is how we support media organizations, journalists, and bloggers in doing that. So in terms of frequency, one of the ways of of offering this editorial support is by doing in-house training. If a media organization reaches out to us, then we can schedule time with them, or our team can visit them, and then we at their allocated time, and then we share with them these tips. Or if we run a training like this, then we are able to also extend the call for application to media organizations. And sometimes if we do physical trainings, we also make sure that we extend invitations to these media organizations. So these are the ways through which we offer support to media organizations or even journalists, bloggers, and other categories of people. And then I see there's a question in the chat box. Somebody's asking, does 211 check check partner or fund alumni projects on disinformation and countering and refugee settlements or across South Sudan? Like I said, 211 Check is not an organization, so it does not have the ability to fund other initiatives, because 211 Check is just a project itself, so it does not have the ability to fund other projects. So we do not do that. The answer is 211 Check does not do that. Okay, good. Looks like there are no more questions. So then we can continue to the real business, which is this training itself. What is it? So, so this training is, of course, delivered to people who have expressed interest. That is why there was first an expression of interest sent, and then later a review, and then an entire process that was pretty long and wouldn't be easy for somebody who is not interested. So it is delivered and is intended to help participants to gain knowledge and skills used by professional fact checkers to enrich their work in multiple fields, and also see that these trainees learn new techniques and sources to check information, to determine its accuracy and promote veracity in the public domain. So we hope that these fact checking skills empower participants to combat the spread of misinformation and disinformation in South Sudan and beyond, and with an ultimate aim of helping content creators and media organizations to practice fact checking. Of course, selected participants. Usually, we have seen cases where a lot of we've seen a lot of cases where we get a lot of applicants, but as time passes by, they drop. So, for instance, right now I see there are about 30 people in the call, but for most of you who will be very committed, you will realize that as time passes by, we will have an average attendance of between 10 to 15 people daily. So you'll find that majority of people who are in this call will drop, and that is something that we have experienced in the first 3 cohorts. So it wouldn't be a surprise for us, especially as time passes by. So we'll expect that a couple of people, even more than half, will drop out of this training. So, but then people who are able to complete will have the opportunity to be mentored even by international fact checkers. Like I said, we have partners who are part of the Africa Facts Network and also are part of the Africa Fact Checking Alliance. So you will have that. And also, if you are somebody who works for a media organization, or if you're somebody who works for a non-governmental organization, you can establish your own local fact-checking outfit like 211 Check, and we can have the opportunity to partner or partner with our partners, as long as we are working at combating mis and disinformation. So what is the nature of this training design? So the training sessions will be delivered by Zoom, like this Zoom session, and it will be live streamed on YouTube. Right now, this session that you are in is having a live stream on YouTube. So we see that people who are facing difficulties in joining us on Zoom will follow on YouTube. And then also later on, people who have not been able to fully attend the training can follow the recording or the live stream on YouTube. And we will have to share the Zoom recording because our Zoom space will be limited and we will have to delete the recordings. We will not keep the recordings for a long period of time. But the YouTube live stream will help there. And also our trainers, the live stream will serve as a reference for them to be able to showcase work that they have done, especially as if they ask for proof of some voluntary thing that they have done, because most of the trainers here are volunteers. They are not being paid for the training that they are doing. So participants will have access to presentations and session recordings to introduce basic fact-checking concepts. Like I said, the recordings will be these live streams, and we also want to see that participants will participate in a WhatsApp group and Google Classroom learning setting that we are already doing. Most of you have been getting updates. Via WhatsApp and also getting updates via Google Classroom. And we are there as your mentors. Most of the trainers are in those WhatsApp groups and the Google Classroom, and they will be able to guide people up to several hours of self-directed learning and also locally led discussion. So the design of this program includes a combination of step-by-step lessons alongside peer mentoring, and we expect that you will use your new skills and tools to produce real-world fact checks or newsroom management assignments using task-driven learn-by-doing model. And you will also be given the opportunity, like I said, to launch fact-checking projects for your organizations, for those of you who already work in organizations, with additional technical support from our network or from us, if you like. So what else? What practical skills are you expected to learn? One, you're expected to learn fact-checking basics, which helps you understand fact-checking methodology and taxonomy and fact-checking techniques using a range of specialized tools. You will learn audience engagement, that is understanding how to create unique topics and themes for a specific audience, and how to build audience engagement and feedback systems. You will also learn production systems that helps you understand how to design editorial or research workflow processes, tooling and staffing strategies for streamlined integration into an organization's wider production processes. You'll also learn policy frameworks, understanding how to apply international, ethical, and professional guidelines for quality assurance and industry accreditation, with special emphasis on applying the International Fact-Checking Network's Code of Principles. So what are the training objectives? So the objectives of this training include building the capacity of you who are eligible and also interested to meet and maintain rigorous fact-checking standards, which includes following those principles, following ethics, and so forth. Also, the objective of this unit is to foster relationships and networks to promote exchange of best practices and lessons learned. So in every cohort, like in the past 3 cohorts, I have been able to meet a couple of friends, and also we have become friends with a couple of people through this. And even some people within the network of the trainers and trainees have become good friends. Even their organizations started changing ideas. So this is one objective of this training, to see that by the end, we have become friends. We share best practices and approaches in doing a lot of things that are related to our work. We also provide a level platform for dialogue between participants on how to build knowledge societies, particularly regarding fostering a collaborative environment nationally on fact-checking and information verification. Yeah. So all of us will have the same forum where we can exchange ideas. Like I see some people earlier on were expressing difficulties in installing, I don't know, Google Classroom, or people have been facing difficulties in syncing their Google account to the classroom and so forth. So, and I saw people offering recommendations on how best to do that. So that is already a level platform for dialogue. And also we look at sharing experiences on the South Sudan media landscape and use of fact-checking tools as mechanisms to advance the veracity and accuracy of information in the public domain, and to collectively generate consensus on ways to improve the information ecosystem in South Sudan. So that forum, that WhatsApp forum that you have, it's going to be very helpful. So you can always share ideas of what you think about the media landscape in the country, of people's opinions, views, and a lot of things. And then we generate consensus around those issues. And lastly, the objective of this training is to enhance proactive publication of health-based information and responsiveness of media institutions, to engage content creators in establishing and strengthening mechanisms to facilitate adequate disclosure of timely and accurate information. So we have seen a lot of cases where people calling out media organization for publishing information that is half-baked. So that is already putting responsibility on the media organizations that they really have a lot of work to do. So these are 5 key objectives of this training. So when you look at the training syllabus starts with an introduction to Google productivity tools. So some of you are already familiar with that, but some of you are new to that. So you will get to know how Google productivity tools can help you in your work. We'll also have an introduction to fact-checking itself. We'll look at fact-checking tools and principles. We'll look at social media hate speech mitigation. We'll look at the basics of data journalism. We'll look at mental health in fact-checking and journalism. We'll look at the basics of investigative journalism. We'll look at online research and digital investigation. We'll look at cyber safety and data security. We'll look at dynamic listening and rumor management. We'll look at Wikipedia editing and Wiki Commons. We'll look at multimedia storytelling and audience analytics. So this is an entire summary of the content that you expect to learn throughout this 3-month period. So what are the guiding principles of this training? We have very simple rules that you should follow. One, actually there's supposed to be a contract form I should be able to share that within this week or next week. So you're supposed to complete and sign that contract form to show your commitment. Participants must have at least a smartphone and preferably a laptop. Without a laptop, you cannot make the best use of most of the resources that you will learn through this training, because you will not practice. Some of these things do not work on the phone, but a smartphone can help somehow. It can help you do some of the basic things. And the training is 100% online. The training is 100% online. You will not have any physical engagement. So participants are expected to have internet access. So you should, like I said, I have emphasized, and I will continue to emphasize on the point of you having an adequate data plan. And also, this is one thing that makes a lot of people drop later on in later stages of the training, especially if you don't have an adequate data plan, you cannot benefit from this training. Availability and willingness to complete this 3-month training. Of course, you should be available and you should be willing. Sometimes you can be available and you cannot be willing, or you may be available and you're not willing. So you must be both available and willing to be able to finish this training. Classwork and assignments must be completed and submitted before the deadline. So you may have assignments from the trainers from time to time, so you should be able to complete those assignments. So every participant is expected to have an active email, so make sure that you are able to check your email. That is where we will send the meeting invites. Also, you should be very dedicated. We are also looking for people who are highly disciplined and people who are able to forge teamwork. We also encourage people who are able to apply the skills daily to their endeavors. And you should be able to submit session attendance, and you should be able to share your experience. You'll be able to ask questions, and you must commit to sharing your new skills and insights within your organization. If you're a journalist, if you're a researcher, we do a journalistic and research fraternity by demonstrating your projects and techniques to the people that you work with. So how is this virtual training expected to run? Like I said, the lessons will be presented in a live Zoom meeting, and participants should be able to attend the presentation using their smartphone or other mobile devices. Calendar invites for each training session are sent hours before the session. Participants will have access to download and watch the session recordings and presentation offline at their convenience. So the only offline mode is when you download the presentation and you pass through it at your free time. And then mentorship, participants will have the privilege to meet and engage the training facilitators at the end of each session. This will be a Q&A session and further engagement. So assessments, each topic of course will have a task which is required to be completed by every participant of this training. You'll be able to receive your certificate only after completing the task for all topics. So if you don't answer any one assignment, then you will not be certified. For you to be able to receive your certificate, you must be able to complete all assignments. So the training will not encourage learning and not practice. So every participant will be expected to showcase application of knowledge from the training at least weekly. So what are the communication channels? If you like to reach out to us for exclusive requests, you can send an email to info@211check.org. If you want to be absent in any session, you can just leave a message in the WhatsApp group. Just leave a message that, hey, I will not be available in today's session because of XYZ. I hope to be there next time. Just leave that message in the WhatsApp group and we'll be able to note your absence. So questions related to the training can be asked after every session or in the comment section of every training material in the Google Classroom. So if you have any question about a particular session, at the end of the session, there's usually a Q&A session. So you can ask the trainer about the session, or you can, once the presentation is shared, you can ask your question in the comment section of the Google Classroom, or when you are filling the attendance. So we will have an attendance that will be registered on Google Forms. We'll share a Google Form during breaks In every training there's a break, so the trainer will usually give break for people to rest, like 5 minutes. So the attendance can be shared during that 5 minutes, and then you will be able to fill your attendance using your details. So you need to submit assignments. Usually assignments are submitted via the Google Classroom, or you can send using the instructor email with a copy to info@211check.org. After every training, you are expected to write a report. So after every training, make sure that you are able to send a report to us, and that is it. So this is how the attendance looks like. The attendance looks like something like this. So this is the attendance. So in the attendance, you will need to write your email, then you will select your name. The names are here, so you should be able to select your name, and then you select your gender, whether you are male or female, and then you select your location. Most of the locations are here. And then you select the institution that you represent. Most institutions are here. And then you select the particular session that you are attending at that time, whether it is the induction and so forth. And then you describe 3 things that you learned from that session. You can tell 2 more things that you want to learn about the session. You can ask any question related to the topic, and then any other feedback you can give there. If you want a copy of these responses to be sent to your email, then you can take this and then you submit. So this is how the attendance looks like, and this one must be filled by every participant. And we have cases where you need to report an incident to us online. This is how our incident reporting form looks like. With the incident reporting form, you can just select any user code here, and then you put the language of the text. You can select the platform where you have gotten that message, and then you can tell whether it is hate speech, violence, misinformation. You put the link. If it is not English, you put the translation. If there's a screenshot, you can put. You can explain the context of that particular message. And yeah, so that is it. If you have any questions about my entire presentation, you can ask. If you have any question about the presentation, you can ask by raising your hand or by leaving your questions in the chat box. You can leave your questions in the chat box or you can ask. Otherwise, let us go for a break. Let's say 5 minutes break as you digest most of this information that I have. You can digest this information that I have shared, and then and then once we come back after the 5 minutes break, you can ask your questions. 5 minutes, so let's meet at 3:05.
I can't hear anyone speak.
Hey guys, you're welcome back from the break. I hope that you guys were able to grab maybe some water or stretch a bit. I would like to invite Guy Akech, who is assistant at 2-on-1 Check, to be able to give a few remarks, let's say in 5 minutes, and then we will pick your questions. So, Guy, you're welcome.
Thank you so much, Bida, and good afternoon, everyone. Once again, I welcome you to this EFiSS Cohort 4. It is wonderful to have you here, people. I've gone through, the introduction, and I've seen you have journalists, you have people from CSO, civil society organizations, and some entrepreneurs. So it's like we have a very rich background and diversity in terms of profession we are in. So that's really good. And it is also going to be an opportunity to build a family together, a community of fact checkers in South Sudan. And as Bida did in the presentation, the work we are doing is going to contribute towards fighting disinformation, hate speech, and misinformation, and all sort of conflict-generating contents. So I really appreciate that. Second to that, I would like you participants to be going to the website, be visiting 2-on-1 Check website, because at the end of your training, you would be expected to produce a fact check, at least one, for you to be granted a certificate. So be visiting the website, read the format in which we write fact checks, and also acquaint yourself with the format, how it is done. So don't let it be a surprise later when you are told to produce a fact check, and then you find that you are having some challenges. Anyway, it is not very difficult, because the fact checks available on 2-on-1 Check website were produced by participants like you and some fellows as well. So it is just a matter of understanding the concept and producing a content that is factual based. So that's how it will be. So this training also is really important to you as a participant, because it will broaden your perspective on how this information leads to conflict, or how hate speech results to conflict. Understanding our situation in South Sudan right now, we find our communities are disintegrating. The social cohesion is actually disintegrating. And for us, what we do is to ensure that we bring these social, we build these social fabrics that are disintegrating, and to uphold our our patriotism as citizens in this country. So that is something that is really important for us to note. So again, individually, it will give you like a wider view of how you will restrain yourself from getting involved in sharing disinformation or misinformation or even hate speech. We have seen some people going to issues like having issues with the security because they shared information they did not even verify. So this is going to be really helpful in order to guide you in the content you share, create, so that you don't find yourself having issues with the security. So this is one of the advantages of having this training at an individual basis. So I appreciate your time, and we shall be interacting. In the course of the training, and we shall be guiding you through writing your articles and assignments. So thank you once again. Hello, Bida, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you so much for the comments. That's very encouraging. I would like to invite the participants for any questions they have. If you have any questions, please do ask. And Guy, you can just see which hands are up and tell them to ask the questions. Guy will be leading that. If you have, I see here.
Agweg is here. Agweg again.
Yes. Are you getting me?
Yes, we are getting you.
Okay, thank you so much, Bida and Guy, for a very wonderful presentations. And of course, I'm Agwega Jing, the host and a TV host, and also head of English at SHBC. In fact, I have one question, and I was actually in cohort 3, and because of being off and on, I really could not able, to attend the classes. So in which I believe I talked to Bida and apply again to be in cohort 4, so that I'm able to acquaint myself with this very important, knowledge. And as the Bida did the presentation, the last presentation, you talk about maybe having come across the threat and you want to report it. And I've seen the form and like kind of wanted to know how do one be able to get the form? For example, now I might have a story that I wanted to see, try to check and also share with the people to see if this is true, as you mentioned earlier, that there are so many, misinformation around our areas we are living in, our communities and also in society. So how do I get that form, or can I, get it on 211 website, or we are going to get the form maybe after this training, and like kindly, yeah.
Yes, Agweg, thank you for your question. It is clear. Well, the form is available. We can share the link. We'll get in the group. And the best way to keep the form is to bookmark it on your laptop or add it on your phone's home screen, so that every time you have an information you want to report, maybe an incident you want to report, you just click on it and follow the procedures of reporting that misinformation. So I think that is clear.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Dengbol, the floor is yours.
Yes, thank you very much. Good afternoon or good evening. in South Sudan. This is Dengbol. I just wanted to ask a question. A question is about introduction. I know we've been asked earlier to introduce ourselves, and I've seen a few people introduce themselves by sending out text here. I was wondering if that was enough, or if there will be a session later on where we will be asked to, speak or introduce ourselves, so that we get to know each other a little bit more. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Dembo. Bida, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
All right. So do we have enough time so that the participants can introduce themselves just like in few, like 5 minutes, all of them?
No. There's no need for each and every participant to introduce themselves and mute their mic. So that's why we've opted.
All right, that's fine. Then I think we move to Lobur. Alikana, you can speak. Yeah.
I have to get back to side of misinformation, because why don't you create an app that can be why don't you create an app that can be installed, and it should be easiest one that to hold out the form. The form should be in the apps. That should be great. And be squared. Can be squared account too. Are you there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lobur. Yeah. I've gotten you clear.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's a genuine concern, and we have noted. We are also working on developing an independent app that you can access anytime to report this information, and also we are planning of incorporating other features, other products that are really important in fighting disinformation and fake news in South Sudan. So we have noted that, and thank you for that, Robert.
Thank you.
We there? Gatkwat, your hand is up.
Okay, good evening, everyone. I'm really impressed with the presentations, Bida and Guy. My query is based on these informations, which is really the fact checker. Are they the information that really happens, or the information that are not yet published by the person that is giving all the information? And if we find the information, what are we going to do about that information? Or let me know, reporting it to the platform, what is the outcome of that report? Is there going to be any ways or any action we shall take about the information that the person has posted out or is about to speak out? That's all. I'm really I'm really not into journalism by professional. I'm into a data management. I'm M&E. So that's the reason why I'm really off this information.
Okay.
Thank you. Over to you.
Gatkwat, are you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah, thank you, Gatkwat. One of the things you're going to be encountering is identifying claims. Identifying claims maybe posted by an individual or maybe a news organization, maybe or these tabloids like Hot in Juba or Juba Eye. They can post some information that is really not verified, it might look problematic. So for you as a fact checker, what you will do is because the idea is to look for the facts. Is this true or not? So such claims, you are going to be taught on how to identify real information and fake information. So, and reporting also through the form, it is the work of 211 check and DeFi now to see the trend of what is happening at the reports you are making. So yours is to make a report, and then we are going to see what is happening and how we are going to also counter such misinformation. So for any information available online, you have to look at it clearly and identify the authenticity of such information. And that's why you are called a fact checker, to verify such information. Yeah, and verification, you are going to be taught later on how to verify what you should know about information that is verifiable and those that are not verifiable. So I think that is clear, that what?
Yeah, I'm clear, and you really answer me. Thank you.
Yeah, Rogers, I think you are the last person because I'm not seeing any other hand up. So please have the floor.
Yes, thank you, brother. I'm by the name Rogers Luis Ramadan. Actually, I had two concerns, but during the last 2 minutes, I think one of my concerns were answered because I wanted from Bidat to repeat that part which is talking about attendance, but I think a link is already shared on the chat box. So that one is solved. The other one is that I think a few of us have not got the chance to join the WhatsApp group. So I'm just requesting that maybe you give us another chance to join the WhatsApp group so that we know all the updates that's taking place. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Rogers. That's noted. Bida will share the link so that you join directly the WhatsApp group link, so that you are not left out in most of our communications during this group.
Thank you. Thank you.
So thank you once again. Make sure you attend, you register your names. That is, you fill the attendance. The link is right in the chat box, so don't forget that. And once again, I appreciate your commitment to have attended this orientation. And on Thursday, we are going to start the real content of this training. So this part of induction for you to easily navigate through the training. And we shall meet again on Thursday, and appreciate each of you for this commitment. So Bida?
Okay.
Bida?
Great.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Guy. Yes, are you getting me? Guy, are you getting me? Are you getting me?
Yeah, Bida?
Hey, Guy, are you getting me? Yes, please. Are you getting me?
Yeah, I'm getting you.
Okay, great. So I'm going to share the link to join the group in the WhatsApp group itself, and then you just copy and you paste it in the chat box so that those ones who are not here yet can join. No, I'm actually going to inbox you so that you can
Okay. All right.
you can share it in the in the chat box for those ones who are not here to be able to join. I have just check your WhatsApp. I have sent it. Yeah, and yeah, and you guys should note that we are very strict usually with the attendance. We just share it on Zoom. So I see Guy has shared the link to the WhatsApp group. So those who are not in the group, please click that link and you should be able to join the WhatsApp group. Is there anyone who is not in the Google Classroom? I think most of you are in the Google Classroom already. So if you are not in Google Classroom, you let us know in the WhatsApp group so that you are able to join it. And you know that the registration form, the form for attendance, is only shared on Zoom. So we only share it on WhatsApp in cases where the trainer who has access to the training link is absent. So that's when we'll share on WhatsApp. But in most cases, we only share that link on Zoom. Otherwise, that brings us to the end of this induction session. Thank you all for your questions, and we will look forward to meeting you again on Thursday. So you know that every day, Tuesday and Thursday, from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m., we will be able to. Somebody is saying that the link is not open. Just copy and paste it somewhere, maybe on WhatsApp, and then just copy and paste it somewhere, and then you copy and paste it on your browser, and then you try to open. There's no way we can help you if it is not opening. It should be able to open for most of you. If it's not opening for you, just copy and paste it on your browser, and it should be able to open. Yeah. Otherwise, thank you all, guys. Have the very best of your afternoon and take very good care of yourselves. See you again on